When the Babylon Bee reported that Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had appeared on The Price is Right, guessing that everything presented by host Drew Carey, including world-class healthcare, cost nothing at all, the prominent online fact-checking site Snopes assured readers that this didn't actually occur. It labeled the story false, along with Democrats' demand that Brett Kavanaugh submit to DNA test to prove he's not actually Hitler. And CNN purchases industrial-sized washing machine to spin news before publication.
They fact-check it and say, no, we checked the record. CNN didn't buy a washing machine recently,
Yeah.
And so that was kind of bizarre. It does seem like they fact-check our ones that target the left more often.
Kyle Mann is the editor-in-chief of the Christian Satirical news site, which has surged in popularity, boasting about 10 million monthly page views just 3 years after its founding.
We don't necessarily target one side over the other, or we don't necessarily strive for balance. We look to target whoever's being ridiculous, on a given day.
There's plenty to go around.
And there's plenty to go around on both sides.
Snopes' defense for fact-checking satire is that a lot of people are misled by it and that they're just trying to help people strengthen their media literacy skills. Do you see that as legitimate, and has that been consistent with your experience with Snopes?
We don't necessarily disagree with the idea of someone saying, hey, we're going to fact-check a joke, or we're going to fact-check this piece. Because, sometimes there's a lot of people out there that don't recognize satire. The real concern is that when we start looking at, who is the fact-checker? Like, who are these people that are supposed to be these objective fact-checkers? And it's really concerning when someone sets themselves up and they say, whenever we say something is true, we slap this green true label on it, or we say it's false and we slap this red false label. And how do we know that that's accurate? And we've seen ideological bias from Snopes in the past.
After Georgia lawmaker Erica Thomas retracted her claim that someone had told her to go back to her country, the Bee published an article poking fun at the incident. Again, Snopes accused Mann and his colleagues of publishing fake news.
We made a joke saying that she went to Chick-fil-A, and the Chick-fil-A worker says, "My pleasure," and she says, "Oh, he told me to go back to my country." And we're known for Chick-fil-A jokes, like that's one of our main things that we go back to. They filed us under the category junk news and said that we were trying to fan the flames of controversy. And the ironic thing was they didn't even fact-check Erica Thomas's original claim, but they fact-check a joke about it. So that's when we start to be concerned about some kind of slant or bias.
Mann says that by mischaracterizing the Bee's content, Snopes could have a negative impact on its traffic and revenue.
We've been threatened with demonetization and deplatforming from Facebook when they had a relationship with Snopes for fact-checking. So that's kind of concerning when a lot of these social media sites are looking at how to squash fake news. And if we start to get lumped in with sites that are actually sharing fake news, then it could be a big problem for our platform and how we reach people.
Snopes, which didn't respond to Reason's interview request, has said that a significant percentage of social media users mistake satire for real news. But Mann says that when making this claim, Snopes cited a methodologically flawed study in which participants were showed Babylon Bee headlines reworded and taken out of context.
A lot of times they missed the joke entirely. They didn't even accurately represent what our joke was trying to say, and just did a very literal interpretation of it. And in that context, I can understand why a lot of people were deceived.
Although the Babylon Bee is primarily concerned with making its readers laugh, Mann says that the site has a more serious mission too, uncovering truth.
You can take satire and you can use it to divide. You can cut away what we believe is true or what we believe is important from what's not important. And we see that in satire of politics. We see that in satire of religion. Specifically when we do satire about the modern church, we do satire about Christian living. We can take a lot of these sacred cows that Christians have set up and just skewer them, and obviously a lot of people don't appreciate that, but we feel like it's a great weapon, it's a great tool to kind of separate what's important from what's not, whether that's politics or Christianity.
Mann says that while Snopes is wrong to treat the Babylon Bee as a serious news source, the satirical site does seek to help readers better understand the real world.
I like to say that satire is not truth, but it's like truth adjacent. So you're creating this alternate world, you're creating this alternate reality. It's almost a mirror that holds up this reflection of our world. And we can help draw people's worldviews and opinions to a logical conclusion. And then some people can look at that and maybe say, whoa, maybe my ideas do need to be thought out a little bit more. And sometimes not, sometimes people will just get a good laugh out of it, and that's okay with us too.